I was literally just talking to one of my clients about how scary the dating world is today. And she actually reminded me of a story that I'd actually completely forgotten about. One of my clients, we'll call her Hannah, ended up getting a divorce from her husband who she'd been with for like 20-something years. They were actually getting a divorce because said husband couldn't stop visiting certain establishments. You know the ones. So Hannah, bless her heart, was thrown into the trenches. And by trenches, I mean the online dating scene. Tinder, Bumble, Fumble, Gryffindor. You get what I mean? And on one of these poxy apps, she ends up meeting a guy and chatting to him. He seems really nice. They always do. After a few days of being absolutely bombarded by random marks, Hannah decides that she'd rather just not be on the apps at all. But she does want to keep in contact with this one guy because he's lovely and he seems to like absolutely everything that she likes. He even has special interests that are almost identical to Hannah's. Things like horses. Just so happens that there is a horse in Hannah's display picture. What are the chances? So Hannah tells this guy, we'll call him Colin, that she's going to be coming off the apps. She can't bear the dating scene and it's not a bit of her. Colin is very understanding and he texts her on her personal number. After about 2 weeks of non-stop talking, they agree to meet. Colin is going to take Hannah on a very nice date to a swanky restaurant in town. Now obviously Hannah's really excited. She gets her outfit. She even came and got her makeup done by me. But unfortunately, disaster would strike. Doesn't it always, guys? Hey? Doesn't it always? I can't remember what the excuse was, which tells me it was pretty lame. He says he still really wants to see her. Of course he does. But unfortunately, he won't be able to take her to this restaurant this time. Hannah might be a bit rusty in the dating department, but she's not silly. She knows all about Netflix and chill. And also she's not about to bring a stranger home. She agrees to meet this guy at a pub that's slightly more local for both of them. And what would you know? Another disaster. Poor old Colin, he's not having very much luck, is he? At this point, Hannah's a bit like, I can't really be bothered, to be honest. However, he's still very insistent. All that's happened now is that his van's broken down and he doesn't have any other car. Well, he does. Apparently he has a Bentley. It's in the garage or something. How is she believing this? This woman is so sweet. Honestly, such a sweetheart. She sees goodness in everyone. So Hannah, being the little sweetheart that she is, agrees to pick this guy up from the train station in her car. And as soon as he arrived at the train station, he is nothing like his pictures. Nothing. And considering the pub that Hannah's chosen is a pretty nice restaurant, this guy is not dressed appropriately at all. He quite literally looks like he's just come off the tools. Now, my Hannah is not a shallow lady, and she could most definitely look past this. However, on getting in the car, it's almost like a stranger. He is nothing like his messages. It's kind of loud and he asks very strange questions. He's very insistent that they go on a dog walk, but he's not even brought his dog. Hannah very cleverly changes the subject completely and starts driving towards the pub. On the drive, Colin asks if he can use her phone, and because the signal around that area can be a little bit shoddy, she just thought it was because he didn't have signal. So he starts to kind of text and tap on her phone, but she's driving, her eyes are straight forward to the road. They arrive at the pub, which he's not happy about because he really wanted to go and collect her dog from her home. Have a very uncomfortable first date. And Hannah excuses herself to the toilet at some point because she's waiting for a phone call from her son. The fact that he's not ringing is kind of putting her on edge. Teamed with the fact that she's on a date with a guy asking if she's got brothers or a dad or if she's told anyone where she's going. At this point, the bar staff and the wait staff have kind of noticed that Hannah looks very uncomfortable. And as Hannah comes out of the toilet, one of the bar staff kind of ushers her over. Are you okay, darling? You don't look okay. Hannah bursts into tears. Her phone isn't working at all. She doesn't know what the fuck's wrong with it. She's got herself in a little bit of a state. As you can imagine, this is her first date in such a long time. It's all going to pot, and also she's not heard from her son. It's all right, sweetheart. Give me your phone. I'll see if I can get some charge in it. Maybe it's that. She passes her phone over and the woman behind the bar takes one look at it. You've got your mobile data off, darling. Oh, have I? So they switch it straight back on. She sees the missed calls from her son and from her best friend. Her best friend is rather concerned because around an hour before that, just after Hannah had told her that she was picking the guy up, Hannah's find a friend, the tracking thing on iPhone, had gone radio silent. And at this point, it's all starting to come a tumble for Hannah. She'd given this guy her phone in the car. She thought he was sending text messages. There was no evidence of any text messages being sent. It seems he was the one that had turned her mobile data off and deleted everyone from her Finder friends. So the bar staff, upon hearing this, are all very concerned, and they agree to distract our little friend, creepy Colin, while Hannah can escape out the side door, get in her car and get out of there. And because it was such a concerning thing to happen and such a coincidence, one of her friends actually convinced her to ring the police. And surprisingly, the police actually took it really seriously. They came out and took a statement from her. And when they tried to find his profile, every scrap of this man was gone. He had quite literally disappeared off the face of the earth. I guess we'll never really know if it all just was a massive coincidence. Maybe her mobile data was turned off by accident. I've done it before. But it seems strange that a man would be so insistent that they go back to her house and that all of his social media would suddenly disappear. You got to be careful out there. Seriously. There must be more creepy little Colin the caterpillars worming their way around. It's a jungle.